Warning, the podcast you're about to hear has a unique conservative perspective and may be politically incorrect, containing some controversy in its message. This episode may speak out against liberalism, socialism, the dark state, and religious organizations. It is possible that evil in politics, education, law, society, and religion will be discussed and exposed. However, we believe this podcast adds truth and value to a mature, disenfranchised audience who may be tired of apostate religions and wicked world systems. Listeners who are easily offended, overly sensitive, or have progressive leanings sympathetic to the topics we expose should be forewarned not to listen any further. We thank both those who choose to listen as well as those who choose not to listen. You've been warned. And now, let us get on with the show.
Just go ahead and say it, Ms. KAPOW.
Okay, today is Freedom Friday, and it's March 9th, 2018.
You said it. You said it with gusto. I'm going to try really, really hard.
That's already your voice inflections tell me it's going to be a hard show.
It's this...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is no. The peace of Jesus is on me. The peace. Joy, joy, joy,
That's
joy.
spiritual
Down
warfare.
at my heart.
That's spiritual warfare right there.
That's lying to myself right there. I read these when I read these stories previously. I scudded.
He did. I can vouch for that.
It was like the first thing in the morning, I look at Ms. KAPOW and I go, what the Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And it didn't stop all day. And it's, yeah. And so then I said, you've got to read this. This is going to really pull your chain.
And it did.
And it did. And then she had her little earbuds on and she's listening to this video. And I go, listen to what this stupid neighbor says about this incident. And then I can hear her going,
and I sounded just like that.
She did. The point is, folks, here's the deal. You know what? This is just my opinion. I cannot back this up with the Bible or scripture or anything. So don't believe anything I say when I say this, but this is just my opinion. This society is collapsing. I mean, it is just collapsing. We've been down the toilet for a long time. The toilet's flushed. The poo is going down. It's a long time. We're in the septic tank right now being eaten by the bacteria. You know, that's where we're at, in my opinion.
Lovely picture.
Yeah, it's a lovely picture of humanity. And I know not everybody's bad. I know a lot of good people. I know a whole lot more good people than I know bad people. But I read about enough bad people and enough bad things to know something is terribly wrong in this parallel universe that I got stuck in somehow. I don't know how I ended up here, but it wasn't like this before, and now it is. This is horrible. And I mean, personally, it's like I just wake up every day and I go, really? It's going to just continue on? This is it? I have no idea. And the whole world's like this. It's not just America. It's not just the whole globe. The whole planet is an alien-infested rock, is what it is. It's a prison planet. It's where Satan and his fallen angels were imprisoned in this reality, and then we got stuck here because stupid had to eat the fruit that he was told not to eat. Oh yeah, it's just stupid. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate that that wise move. I guess really go count a giraffe or something. What's wrong with you? Well, my wife, she gave me the other 2 days. But I'm going to try, Ms. KAPOW.
I know you are.
I'm going to try not to get my voice above this level right here. And then it'll be down here.
All right.
I'm going to be calm. Because there's nothing I can do about it.
No.
You know the little circles? You have the circle of influence. You have the circle of whatever, circumstance. You have that big circle, like what's going on at the White House, and Trump and all that stuff. There's nothing you can do about that. And then that other little circle that affects you to situate, there's nothing you can do about that either. And only that small little circle that you have influence on that you can actually do something about. And that's so small, that's basically like, well, should I brush my teeth or eat a hamburger? That's basically your choice. Because there's nothing else you can control. You're just a slave prisoner. It's amazing, the prison planet we're in, and whether you work or not. Of course, if you're still working, you're still enslaved, and you retire, you're enslaved, and the whole thing is just designed for loosh. Thank you and good night.
Ciao, baby.
Hope I brought you some joy. No, you don't come here to listen to happy, clappy, jingle jangle nonsense, do you? Because the rest of the world's drivel. You want to turn on CNN? You want to turn on Fox News? You want to watch TV? It's drivel. The stuff on YouTube, the stuff they advertise, the stuff that you see, it's just drivel. Little comedians, people being funny, making fun of this. It's drivel. Life is nothing but a bunch of drivel. So when you latch onto something that's true and you see the bigger picture, you're just surrounded by drivel. It's tough to deal with sometimes. It's so inconsequential, but you're affected by it. Mm-hmm. Can't get away from it. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. There's no state you can go to, the United States.
No.
And there's no country you can go to.
No neighborhood.
There's no neighborhood. You're stuck. It's terrible. Terrible. Terrible, Mark Short. Okay, Ms. KAPOW. Why don't you give us a rounding scripture.
Okay. I have a few. Isaiah 32:5-8 says, "The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. And the instruments also of the churl are evil. He devises wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. But the liberal devises liberal things, and by liberal things he shall stand." Psalm 101:7, "He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight." Proverbs 26:23, starting at 23, "Burning lips and a wicked heart are like potsherd covered with silver dross. He that hateth dissembles with his lips, and lays up deceit within him. When he speaks fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart, whose hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation." And the last one, Titus 1:16, says, "They profess that they know God, but in their works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient unto every good work a reprobate."
Do you still have that first one up?
Isaiah?
Is that the one that said liberal?
Yes.
What is the Hebrew on that? What?
You know what? I have to open my...
okay, never mind. It just was interesting. Because obviously it's not liberal like we think of a liberal, but I just wonder what the Hebrew was on that. Interesting scriptures, Ms. KAPOW. Pretty negative. How come you couldn't find something positive like the promises?
I know.
Gosh! No wonder nobody goes to your church. Church of Ms. KAPOW. Very negative. Would you do that every Sunday? "Hi, I'm the pastor, Ms. KAPOW, and I'm here to read you some scripture. You're all going to die and go to hell unless you repent."
You're funny. Okay, liberal is means voluntary or generous. A tyrant, sometimes a tyrant. Free, liberal things, noble, prince, willing, inclined, generous, incited.
So in context of that scripture, is it talking about the tyrants?
It says the vile person shall be no more called liberal, so they won't be called generous or voluntary.
Huh, okay. So you're going to kind of see their true colors or whatever.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
They're hypocrites, basically, right?
Yeah. So you're going to find out your tax cut isn't all that great? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. Don't be talking about taxes. All right. That's very good, Mr. KAPOW. Okay. Folks, I'm just warning you. I'm not going to scud. I'm just going to talk at this level the whole show. You're going to scud.
Oh, this first one. Oh, dear Lord.
Well, they're going to scud really on all of them. But yeah, this first one, it's your turn to scud. So if you're driving, you need to pull over because you're going to be slamming your fist on the top of your car. And you're going to just be screaming at your windshield. Just screaming at the top of your lung. And you're going to be screaming like, "Why, God, hast thou not returned?" You're going to be saying like that, and you're going to be screaming, run around your car. State troopers are going to come, and they're going to go, "What is wrong with you on your drugs?" And you're going to know, "I'm on KAPOW radio show. I'm high on Freedom Friday. Get away from me."
They're going to say, "Oh, okay."
They're going to say, okay. They're going to drive off and get a big old fat donut.
Ooh.
Yeah, because that's what troopers eat. Yeah.
They know how to eat.
They know how to eat. Forget the bagels, man. It's not California cops, man. California cops eat bagels. These guys out here eat donuts. All right. This is local. This is local for us. It's that cesspool, piss hole place called Las Vegas, Nevada. Mm-hmm. God, what a... They don't call it Sin City for no reason, folks.
Exactly. It's a dump.
It's a dump. And you talk about... the whole state's mafia run. I'm convinced of that. Everybody's got mob ties. I just heard today Joe Lombardo had a big sign here at one of the casinos. He's running for re-election. Lombardo.
Mm-hmm. The liar.
The liar clown. You know, the most mass murder in U.S. history. He can't pull his head out of his rectum to even tell the truth. Yeah, re-elect me, and he'll get re-elected because he's mafioso. Mm-hmm. The casinos will put him back there. Okay, so this is a local Las Vegas thing, but it affects you because of it. It's happening here. It's happening in your town. All these states are the same. Mm-hmm. Here's another thing, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. But we are surrounded. You are surrounded. We're all surrounded by a satanic cult. There exists. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. The culture around you is a satanic worshiping cult, and it's a culture. They're anti-God. You can only serve God or serve Satan. You see, there's no in between. There's no like, well, they're good people. They don't. You only have one master, one or the other. I'm sorry.
No, it's true. That's biblical.
It's biblical. Yes, that's just truth. So you may go, well, but my kids are good kids. They just don't follow the Lord. Then if they're not following the Lord, they're following Satan.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We are surrounded by a very real, existent, satanic worshiping culture, and they're all around us. And these beings that live in human flesh suits are at war with all of us. They're at war with each other. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be caught in it. This is one of those stories that will show you, not only in this Las Vegas city, not only in the state of Nevada, but in your state, in your city, you're at war. You're surrounded by a satanic cult, and they're doing everything in their power to take apart any semblance of civility, humanity, reality. And it's out to destroy you, to imprison you and destroy you. Mm-hmm. It's war. And there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Mm-mm. In fact, there's nothing you can do about it.
Nope.
We came from Cuckoo, California. One of the big reasons we left California, lifelong Californians, born and raised there, to a state like Nevada, was to get away from the high crime. In the city we lived in, the government, the California state government, was releasing prisoners left and right all over the state of California. These prisoners had to go somewhere. And we belong to LifeLock, that company, mm-hmm. LifeLock, mm-hmm. that monitors your credit and people ripping you off and stuff. Because we used to have that problem all the time at Cuckoofornia. Mm-hmm. And part of LifeLock is to tell you what sex offenders live in your area code.
Yeah, isn't that nice? that you
Yes.
have to have something like that.
Yes. And every month, folks, I kid you not, every month there would be dozens of notifications I would get of sex offenders. And a lot of them would be child rape. I'm not talking a guy that was pissing on the wall off the bar and a cop gave him a ticket for public exposure. Because that's what they like to say. Oh, why should a guy be, have to register as a sex offender just because he had his wanker out pissing on a wall? No. These guys are child rapists. They're pedophiles. And they were releasing them, and still are, in that community by the droves. Mm-hmm. Ms. KAPOW is my witness. We'd go out to eat, and I'd point to a guy, and I'd go, that guy's a parolee. Mm-hmm. That guy's a convict. That guy's, I can spot him. Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons, and when it got too close to our home, that's one of the reasons we decided to come to a state like this, because we thought Nevada, like Arizona, would be more conservative. Nay. We're wrong. Mm-hmm. It's coming here, just like it's in Cuckoo. It's coming everywhere because the satanic cult that surrounds you, this is the agenda. Now, don't get fooled by Trump and the Republicans and conservatives. They're all in the same bag.
They're all the same. Mm-hmm.
It's just that they have different jobs to do to bring in the full agenda. So this is like false opposition, this constant fighting with him. And it's false opposition so that you can get the other people in there. Mm-hmm. And it's just the other people, they're all the same. It's just that it's whose job is to push this agenda. Obama pushed it so far before him. The Bush pushed it so far. Clinton pushed it so right. Trump's pushing it a little farther.
But they're pushing the same agenda.
Yeah. And if you will notice, like a frog in a pot of boiling water, it's getting worse and worse. And you may not even, pretty soon you accept, it's like homosexuality is so common. It's like, gay, who cares? Their own thing. I just talked to a friend today that just blew my mind because he was telling us that he was pro-abortion. Mm-hmm. And that a woman could do whatever she wants with her body and all that stuff. And that's just his personal belief. But what shocked me about this guy, he's in his 70s, was that he lost a daughter, a baby daughter. She was 9 years old. Yeah. Not to an abortion, but to a cancer. Mm-hmm. And it made him an alcoholic at one point. And so I would think that if you lost any child, you would be anti-death of any children at any point, but I'm wrong. So it just kind of blew my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I guess my point I'm trying to make is that you become desensitized to these lies, these untruths. As you start to say, well, the guy I work with, he's gay and they're cool and blah, blah. It's not all right, folks. It's never okay for another man to make love to another man or a woman with another woman. That's not normal. But we've accepted that. And I and a lot of people have been saying pedophilia is the next thing. Of course it is. It's been here for years. But it's going to get more and more just desensitized. Look at transgenderism. How acceptable that is to a lot of people. That's not right. Mm-hmm. Okay, Ms. KAPOW, stop me. I'm at 18 minutes. I haven't talked about anything.
Well, let's get on with this story then.
You read it. I can't. I got to puke.
Okay. Let's see here. It's moving around.
Oh.
Las Vegas. This guy is a convicted murderer, a rapist, and to be set free in Las Vegas, Nevada. It says a convicted rapist and murderer could soon be free to roam the streets of Las Vegas. A judge sentenced Scott Sloan to serve 5 consecutive life sentences.
5 consecutive life sentences.
So this is a bad dude.
In 1984.
Yep. And he could be paroled as soon as April 1st.
Well, let me stop you there. Wait a minute. A judge sentenced this piece of feces to 5 consecutive life sentences for a crime he committed in 84. How in the hell can he be paroled in April 1st if he's serving 5 executive sentences?
Well, let me go on. It says Sloan, this piece of crap, was a teenager when he was convicted of the rape and murder of a 41-year-old Nancy Menke. For a 16-year-old boy, Sloan, it was extremely vicious. Sloan raped his victim repeatedly. Her head was caved in with a rock, and she was shot multiple times, strangled, and it was a sadistic act. This is the Clark County District Attorney Steve Wilson. Mm-hmm. The DA said he was outraged to learn the man behind those crimes was granted parole to walk free because of a change in the law. And that new law provides that if you were under the age of 18, and this guy was 16 when he committed this crime, at the time of the commission of a crime, and you were sentenced to more than 20 years in prison for killing one person, you automatically become eligible for parole.
Who enacted that law? Who voted for that?
Mm-hmm.
My voice is raising. Let me try to keep it down. What ill-informed, mentally deranged idiot voted for a law that if you're under 18 and you kill just one person, you'll be eligible for parole sometime? Are you stupid? Go on.
A jury recommended life with the possibility of parole, and the judge handed down 5 consecutive life sentences. Since Sloan's conviction, he served time without a single strike on his record, and he also expressed remorse in front of the Nevada Parole Board.
Oh, are you?
Now, the thing is, you hear it. There's a video of him. Now, he's reading every word, and it sounds so insincere. He might as well not have said anything.
Yeah. This guy's had 34 years to try to figure out how he's going to get out of this.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's a monster. This guy's a demonic monster. At 16, he bangs the head of a victim, of a woman, a 41-year-old woman who's a mother and a wife of somebody, a daughter of somebody. Mm-hmm. Your mom, your wife, bangs her head in with a rock, strangles her, shoots her, and rapes her multiple times.
At 16.
At 16. But now he's okay because the new law said, well, more than 20 years, you should be on parole. See what I mean? There's a satanic agenda all around you to destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Now, this guy, they have some of his quotes here, this Sloan guy.
Yeah.
He says, I don't remember committing those crimes. Really? But he says, but I did. And throughout the decades, it continues to be a horrible feeling knowing that I am the reason for a loss of a wife, a mother, and a friend. Don't you just want to strangle him? Yeah. Wolfson said he believes in second chances, but thinks the Nevada Parole Board's decision will be a danger to the public. But some in the public say they disagreed with Wolfson. This is the idiot. This is the idiot. You just.
Yeah, because you can't blame Sloan for wanting to get out of prison. He's a demonic sex offender. He wants to rape again. So I can't blame him for lying. But this guy?
He's an idiot. Okay?
This other guy?
He's the type of guy that you just, Okay?
Yeah.
So, fill in the blanks. This is what this idiot says. He says, people make mistakes. Obviously, this is a great mistake, and I feel sorry for all the victims' families and loved ones. But 34 years is a long time.
Wow.
This guy didn't make a mistake. He killed and brutally killed and violated a person, a human being. Mm-hmm. That is not a mistake.
Not a mistake.
Sorry. He's
a neighbor. He's a neighbor at where this crime took place. And he actually says that. Well, people make mistakes. It's a great mistake. I feel bad, but it's a mistake. It's like Miss KAPOW says, a mistake is a 16-year-old kid drinking too much with his buddies, driving a car drunk, runs a red light, and kills a family of nuns. It's a tragedy. That's a mistake. That's a bad accident. That's a bad mistake. It's a bad decision he made. Banging the head of a woman, strangling her, raping her multiple times, and then shooting her dead and having an exceptionally vicious, sadistic crime is not a mistake.
It's an intent.
But see, this is the kind of mushroom brains you're around.
Yeah.
Like this guy statement. These are the libtards, the satanic cult that's all around you. He looks like a regular NASCAR watching, beer drinking white dude, deplorable. That's what he looks like, but he's not. He's part of the satanic agenda. There's something living in this guy, or you couldn't say something like that.
Mm-hmm. He's a reprobate. He's an antichrist. Can I say?
But anyway.
Okay, so the parole board says Mr. Sloan committed an exceptionally egregious offense, but after considering all the factors in this case, including his age at the time of the offense, the board believes that the parole is appropriate at this time. Pursuant to Nevada law, Mr. Sloan will remain subject to the jurisdiction of the board of the duration of his sentence, which is life.
Which means they're going to parole him.
Yep.
They just said they're going to parole him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was young. Like that had anything to do with it. I don't care if he was 8 years old.
Yeah.
See, in the Old Testament, God commanded Israel to take a guy. I would never get to this point, but a guy even did something like this or raped somebody would be taken out and killed. They'd be called. Because God, you have to eliminate him from the camp. Mm-hmm. You have to release that demon in him and eliminate that guy. Yeah, absolutely. The death penalty, absolutely. And that's what protected the rest of the society.
Now, during the parole hearing, Sloan said he plans to live with his father and work for his father's pool cleaning company. Isn't that nice? Now you're going to have this rapist, murderer, cleaning your pool. And a local radio host, Alan Stock, bless his heart, said he had heard about Sloan's story and released and disagreed with the parole decision. And he said he plans to use his platform to warn the public about who their new neighbor could be so that they can protect themselves. He says, we will go ahead and find out where this guy is living. It is in the police records, and when we find out, we are going to announce it on the air day after day and let people know where he's living and who he is. We'll post his picture too, and I want people to know what's going on around them.
Hey, bless this guy's heart, man. I don't know who Ellen Stock is or what radio it is, but I'm going to look him up, and I'm going to support him on that. Because he has a platform and it takes people to call this stuff out, man. Because in Cuckoo, California, these people were all around us. They were let out of prison left and right, man. And it makes a difference.
It really does.
Anyway, I'm scudding already.
Okay, this next story is he's a South Carolina man, and he wanted to eat a child. And he's out of jail on bond.
Oh, he's out of jail on bond. Not a big deal.
Yes. A man, police say, wanted to cannibalize a child after turning her into a full-time baby maker and sex slave. He is out of jail on bond.
You get that, folks? He's out on jail on bond. This guy, if he could have completed what he wanted to do, he was going to take a child and make her a sex slave and a full-time baby maker. And he was going to eventually eat her. And this is okay. This is okay to let this guy live and continue on? Mm-hmm. Or this is okay to let him roam the streets and out? Are you serious? I'm telling you, it's a collapse of civilization. Mm-hmm. We get desensitized to it because these stories are everywhere.
And they're constant. They're like that dripping water.
Yeah.
And this guy after a while, it doesn't faze you anymore.
Mm-mm. Because it's not next door to you. Mm-hmm. It's not in your community. But it will be. You know it will be.
And if these stories didn't come out or people didn't point their fingers or make it known, you could be living next to one right now.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this guy, his name is Justin Teeter Bensing. He's 36 of Myrtle Beach. And he faces 2 counts of criminal solicitation of a minor in connection with a roundup of more than 40 accused child predators and sex traffickers. Bensing said online communications that he wanted to cannibalize a child. However, the 14-year-old girl Bensing thought he was talking to was actually an undercover officer. And he traveled from Myrtle Beach to Greenville to pick up this girl. Yeah.
Had it not been an undercover cop and had been a really stupid kid on the internet, you'd have one dead kid.
Yeah. And like Brother KAPOW said, this guy, he desired to turn this child into a full-time baby maker and sex slave and make his intended victim drink her own urine. Isn't that nice?
So he's a sadist. He's just like the 16-year-old kid who brutally murdered that gal in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Who they're going to let out. He's a
spirit.
sadistic, demonic Nephilim in a flesh suit.
Mm-hmm.
And you try to kill this guy, and he should be dead. You try to kill him, the laws work against you.
Yep.
That's called murder on your part.
Yep.
It's not right.
Yep. Because he deserves second chance.
Yeah.
And you just destroyed that.
Exactly.
He was arrested February 12th and released from jail on Valentine's Day. His bond was set at $10,000 for each of the two charges. And there were no conditions set on the bond. No, just go.
He can go wherever he wants. Come to Nevada with the rest of us.
Mm-hmm. And he only faces up to 10 years in prison for each of the charges if convicted.
He won't get convicted because his attorney will say he just went to make sure the kid was okay, and you're assuming he was going to do that. People write crazy stuff. It's the internet. It's the internet of things. Come on.
Yeah. So that's that story.
My Lord. You know what? I love the name of their I love the name of their operation. The Greenville County investigators named their operation. It was a 2-week-long sting, and they called it Operation Millstone, rooted in the New Testament book of Matthew.
Oh, the one that says, if anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and to be thrown or drowned in the depths of the sea.
Yeah. You know, the catchphrase there is those who believe in me.
Yeah.
So it's not really every little kid, as much as we'd like to believe that. Sorry. Okay, you guys ready to scud some more and yell at the windshield? This is gonna make you poop your pants. So if you're at work, you might want to turn the show off and wait till you get home, because you're gonna poop. You might poop.
Outrage grows over Oklahoma judge. A judge, people. A judge. This guy, you could, not that he would live next to us in this place, but he could be a neighbor, a judge, you know what I mean? Someone that's respected. He went to school, blah, blah, blah. But here's a stupid judge who reportedly let several child rapists off without prison time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because the satanic cult that's surrounding you, they protect each other as much as they can. That's what Hollywood was doing. That's what Hollywood still does. Why they turned on Weinstein, who knows? How long that's going to last, who knows? It's probably just a big, stupid game. They protect each other. These are pedophiles. A judge is starting to get noticed because he keeps letting these I'm talking rapists. Grown men who rape children. He's letting them off.
Yeah, and so this man is no better than the rapists and
Absolutely.
the child killers and abusers.
Absolutely.
Only he's wearing a robe.
Yep.
So this guy, this Oklahoma judge who faced widespread criticism for letting a church camp rapist walk away with only probation earlier this year, has let another child rapist avoid prison as well. Marshall County District Judge Wallace Copperhedge has agreed 7 other times to send sex offenders home without prison sentences during his 7 years behind the bench. It says the newspaper said most of the cases involved child rapes, and the outcomes were linked to problems that appeared after the cases were filed in court.
It's not his fault. It's the investigator's fault.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, there was problems. I had to let him go.
It says the simple explanations are that often cases change over time. Now, this guy, he's the criminal defense lawyer, President Al Hodge. So, he's very political.
He wouldn't lie.
No. He's only going to say what he has to protect the judge.
He wouldn't lie. Yeah.
Hodge added that prosecutors may strike the deals because witnesses would refuse to testify or additional evidence becomes available and renders a case less appealing to a jury. So this is just justification.
Maybe because they're 4 years old and they were raped by a grown man.
But judges don't always have to approve the plea deals, and several have told the Oklahoma men that they would never consider only probation for an admitted child rapist. In multiple other cases decided by a jury, a plea agreement, or by choosing the punishment himself, this judge has sent sex offenders to prison. And he hears cases from 5 different counties and did not respond to numerous requests for comment from them. So obviously they're just trying to protect this judge.
They're trying to protect this judge.
And give him justification for
and
what
he's
he
a
did.
sodomite, and he's a pedophile. Listen to some of these people he's let off.
Benjamin L. Petty, he's a Falls Creek camp cook, and he pleaded guilty to raping and sodomizing a 13-year-old girl in 2016 and was sentenced to by this judge in January, just 15 years of probation, with 15 years of probation.
15 years of probation.
So he didn't do any time.
Nothing. Raped and sodomized a 13-year-old child.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he was required to register as an aggravated sex offender. And he'll have to wear an ankle monitor, too, for 2 years. Oh!
Now, this is what says the victim's attorney said the family was comfortable with the plea. Really? I don't think so.
Then they should be taken out and just slapped.
Mm-hmm. Says the family consented to the plea agreement based on the representation by David Pyle that Petty would not serve meaningful time in prison due to his medical conditions.
Oh, good God.
And the family was not provided any alternative.
Well, yeah, that's Bruce Robertson, the victim's attorney, said the family was not providing any alternative. Yeah. So that's why they accepted it, because there was no other alternative.
Exactly.
Either we're going to let him out on probation.
That's what I'm saying, that they just... Okay.
Oh, and that guy was forced to quit. Pyle, that prosecutor, was forced to quit because he did not consult with his boss beforehand.
Mm-hmm. See, everybody's pointing their fingers at everybody else, and it's annoying.
More than 100,000 people have signed an online petition demanding the judge's ouster. Mm-hmm. One commenter called the verdict sheer insanity. And guess what? Before his career as a judge, he was a defense attorney.
You know what we think about defense attorneys.
He wouldn't lie.
So that's that story.
That's crazy. Did you see on the right of that? I don't know if you still have it up, but if you saw on the right of it, there's a guy who stopped a stabbing or shooting to the right there. But the guy looks like Jesus Campos from here in Vegas.
Oh, it probably is him.
Yeah, the FBI agent. Mm-hmm. Let me take a short break, and then I will be right back.
Okay.
All right.
Demons in My Marriage Bed, a true story of spiritual warfare, changed the way my spouse and I conduct spiritual battle and has increased our alertness level to the tactics of Satan. This is an excellent training manual for building a stronger marriage by exposing the tactics your enemies use against you from all online digital retailers. God bless you all.
We're back, Ms. Bow.
All right. Let's see here. This next story is about a passenger on an airplane who strips naked, starts watching porn on his laptop, and then he masturbates. Yeah. Nasty. Poochie.
You see the picture of this guy?
I know, and I'm trying not to look at it.
Oh, there's a picture of him.
Disgusting.
Of course, his junk is blocked out.
Thank God.
But he's sitting there. He's stark naked. It's horrible. Dude, on a plane, in public.
Disgusting. Okay, it's disgusting. This passenger was tied up and dragged off a plane after he stripped off and performed a sex act on himself while watching porn before attacking a stewardess. He's 20 years old, reportedly from Bangladesh. He shed his clothes, whipped out his laptop, and began watching sex films shortly after the Malindo air flight departed from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Yeah. The man said to be a student at the Malaysian University.
Of what?
And initially put his clothes back on after being asked by cabin crew. But then he tried to hug the stewardesses while on his way to the toilet. When his advances were rejected, he is said to have become aggressive and attacked a stewardess. The cabin crew and passengers reportedly managed to tie him up with a piece of cloth and contained him for the rest of the flight.
But he also urinated all over himself.
Yeah.
They said he ignored everybody around him, and he just pleasured himself in front of everybody, peed on himself, peed on the seat. And there's no indication of why he was acting so strangely. Malaysia is a subsidiary of an Indonesian company, and they're waiting to reply from him. Now, I thought some of the comments were interesting because I didn't put this together, so I'm not saying it's true, but I thought it was interesting. Let's see, where was I? There's a lot of nonsense, but...
Well, this one guy says that had it been American Airline, they would have turned around and gone back to the airport.
Yeah. They should have. But there was one here that talked about the Muslim Islam. And they said, I can't find it now, but basically what they're saying, this is like typical once you get a Muslim away from their country, from their from their Shahara law. I don't think they have Shahara law there, but they still subscribe to their 15th century whatever they do. And then once you get them away from that, they basically go nuts.
Yeah.
It's like, now I can do all this stuff. I don't know. It was a couple of comments like that, and I thought, I never thought of it at that, that aspect of it. Of course, the guy's a demon on, he's got demons in a flesh suit, obviously. You know how many sex demons you got to have to do something like that? A legion. Just a legion full of them. Yeah. But, Islam is a good way to get a bunch of demons in you.
That's for sure.
So there was a couple people talked about that. Am I right, folks? Are these stories is it just me?
Isn't it just boiling your blood?
Yeah. I mean, it's more than just like, oh, look at this bad thing happen. Oh, Jesus is coming pretty soon. Look at this. Blah, blah. It's like, really? I mean, this is a total collapse of humanity. These folks aren't even human anymore. There's humanness is gone. And I'm not talking just the ones. I'm not talking about just the naked guy peeing on himself and doing it. I'm talking about the judge. I'm talking about those Nevada legislators are going to let the rapist out because they changed a new law.
Exactly. They're the worst ones.
Yeah. Because
they're bringing out a breach. They're breaching.
Yeah.
And causing,
yeah, they're
our safety, putting our safety in jeopardy.
Yeah, they're the ones with the keys to the bottomless pit, man, opening it up and letting all the demons out.
Exactly.
Just like they did in Cuckoo, California, in our neighborhood, in our city. It used to be a nice little city at one point.
Yeah, so they're actually the ones that we're pointing our fingers at. It's like, oh my gosh, look what these people are allowing to happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you expect the crazy people to do it. They're crazy. But you expect your state legislators, your judges, your law enforcement to protect society. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. Here's another gal on a plane. When was the last time I flew, Ms. KAPOW?
Oh, years.
Maybe 2006 or something. I don't fly. I refuse to give my money to these people. I refuse to have some TSA security guard touch me or tell me what to do. I've still got that much in me that I'm not doing it. And if I can't get somewhere by driving on land, then I'm not going. I don't care who dies or who gets married or what. I'm not going. That's just me. I opted out and I opt out. I'm not doing it. I don't fly. But a lot of people do. I read these stories and I go, I'm making a good decision. Yeah. Therefore, I'll never fly to another country or because I can't get there by car. I don't go. Not that I'd want to.
Now, this next story is about a teenager who...
No.
No?
This is the woman restrained after trying to open an airplane cabin door during a flight.
Oh, well, I don't have
You
that
don't...
one.
Oh.
You didn't tell me that one.
I'm sorry. Well, let me run this one real quick.
Okay.
This is Washington. Passengers on board United Express flight had to restrain a Boise, Idaho woman. Boise, Idaho. See what I mean? The people aren't crazy over there. Well, this woman was ranting about being God. You always know when someone has a demon when they go, "I'm God, I'm Jesus." You know they have a demon because they always call that out, right? So this video was posted online. I watched the video. She just looks like a regular woman. Nothing unusual about her. But she was working. I'm sorry. The video actually shows passengers and stuff trying to tie her feet up and hold her down and stuff. So she's screaming, "I am God, I am God, I am God." And that's what she keeps saying. And she had tried to open the aircraft cabin door while the plane's in flight. And that came from San Francisco to Boise. So I don't know if she's a Boise woman or a San Francisco woman. She sounds more like a Frisco woman, but I don't know. The plane landed safely, and the woman was then taken for medical evaluation. A medical evaluation!
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe she'll get a sex change where we're at it. Let's pay for that. Why don't you just raise my taxes on that? So anyway, there were 73 passengers on board, and the experts say it's impossible to open a cabin door because it's pressurized and stuff like that. However, that doesn't make it less terrifying for the people on board when someone's trying to open the door. Mm-hmm. So anyway, she got arrested, and they're forwarding it to FBI for review. And they're doing a good job, so they're going to be right on it. Okay, but how about the RuPaul one? Did you get the big RuPaul one?
I read that one.
Okay, so do you have that one next, or you have the Utah guy?
I have the Utah kid.
Okay, then we'll do the Utah kid, and then we'll do RuPaul last.
All right.
Okay. Hurricane, Utah is how far from here? 40 minutes from where we live?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah,
5.
every year we go up there, and I play with my little stupid band. I play at the Peach Festival, right? Or Peach Days, that's what it's called. Mm-hmm. Little outdoor festival. And I get to play Rockstar for the afternoon. And all 50 people with no teeth are watching, and it's really cool. No, I'm just kidding. They have teeth. Hurricane, Utah is a nice little community. Kind of, it's a Mormon community. It's on the way to Zion National Park. I wouldn't think this kind of stuff would happen there, but it did. Ms. KAPOW, you're on.
Could you continue reading?
Oh,
I
sure.
don't have that one.
Oh, okay. It's just outside of St. George, Utah. Police said a homemade explosive device was the item discovered in a backpack at Pineview High School Monday. That's in Hurricane, Utah. In fact, one of the guys I play with in my band was born and raised in Hurricane. Very quaint, small community. But this kid forced an evacuation of the school. And it was a real device. Police said if the device had detonated, it definitely would have caused significant injury, probably death. So the kid's in custody. A warrant was served at his house, and items were found consistent with the material used to build the bomb. Mm. But now check this out. The police said that this kid, on his computer, they found information that he had been expressing interest and information regarding ISIS, and he was promoting the organization ISIS. ISIS in Utah.
You know what I think? I think they should just go ahead and send him to the Middle East.
That's
because I don't think he has what it takes to do this. I think he just wants to romanticize this kind of crap.
He needs to be trained by the Syrian army. So I think you're right. Let's put him on a plane with the naked guy peeing on himself and a crazy woman who thinks she's God trying to open the door. Put him right in the middle.
Yeah, and see how tough this kid really is.
Yeah, and let him go start making love to goats or whatever they do to get their courage up.
Make them squeal, Paul. Make them squeal.
Yeah.
That's what
I
this
agree.
guy needs.
No, but you know what? No, this is Utah, not Nevada, but still, it's a teenager, his age. He made a mistake. And if he's sitting some more than 20, I think we should let him go because, people, they change.
Idiots.
Where's the parents to this guy? I mean, come on.
I know.
I mean, does anybody pay attention to their kids?
Obviously not.
He's arrested. He faces charges for manufacture, possession, sale, attempted use of a weapon of mass destruction. You can't tell me that this kid who goes to a high school is living by himself in his own apartment somewhere. He has to be living with his parents, and they don't notice that he has bomb-making material in the house somewhere?
Yeah.
I don't get it. My brain...
They're not watching their kids.
No. This guy also...
That's why they send him to school.
Yeah. That's why he got arrested.
Or church.
Yeah. Oh, man. Here's some other things this brain surgeon did. So he had a dangerous homemade device that he brought to school. He was going to blow it up, kill people in the name of ISIS. When they interviewed him, he admitted to taking the American flag down, and he replaced it with an ISIS flag at Hurricane High School.
He should go to jail for that.
He should. But see, no one is respecting the flag. The NFL players they kneel. No one respects it.
See, but this happens when there's no conviction of anything.
No.
You know what I mean? You could just do whatever you want.
This is the satanic cult.
Whatever feels good about, whatever you think is right, go ahead and do it. So there's no guidelines. There's no rules. So this is what you get. You get lawlessness. This is exactly what we've sown, and this is what we're reaping. Because no one stands up for the truth, or the truth isn't being heard. I shouldn't say no one's standing up for it, because I hate when people say that, because there are voices out there that are standing up for the truth, but they're just not being heard.
Oh yeah, like us. I mean, we stand up for the truth, but this.
So,
this
but this is what's happening.
Yeah. He also sprayed ISIS is. I think he meant to say ISIS is coming, but he didn't get that far. COMI. ISIS is coming.
Well, obviously he can't write or read either.
Monday afternoon, they served a search warrant at his house, and they tied him to all the crime, and so he's placed in juvenile detention, where he's going to be coddled and loved in the corner and given apple pie, and made to believe that he's special. Okay, one last story.
RuPaul.
This guy is a drag queen. You know, everybody knows RuPaul, the drag queen. And I think the only thing interesting about the story I wanted to point out is that first he says drag is a big FU to male-dominated culture. And so this whole article is about his drag race show. We talked about that last week or a couple of weeks ago. And so it talks all about this drag race show and how it's, really cool. And they interviewed this guy and his background and just how awesome he is. And he's a fag-a-lot, and he dresses like a woman and blah, blah, blah. But see, they're at war with themselves too, because I guess there was a transgender who went on the show. And it was kind of hard to say, well, wait a minute. Being a drag queen, it's all about a man dressing like a woman, right? Not a man who thinks he's a woman. So they can't even get it right? Because the satanic cult, they're not they're the satanic cult, but they're not the brightest things in the world. They're not logical.
Confusion breeds confusion.
Yeah. But some of these people who go on his show, Lady Gaga, that's no surprise, but really the politician, what's her face? Nancy Pelosi? Really?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That you're surrounded by a satanic cult? It's one thing of a celebrity like Gaga.
You expect that.
Yeah, this, whatever it is. But Nancy Pelosi? Okay. Democrat House Minority Leader? Really? On an episode of Drag Queens?
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, it goes on about him, but there was one particular... Oh, and he talks about how, people were threatened by him because he's an African-American man, and people, because of the inherent black rage that all black people have in our culture.
Yeah, whatever.
All black people have rage, according to him. All of them are mad! And, of course, this guy's a little fag-a-lot, right? And so people are afraid of him because of his rage. Okay. So then he talks about black rage, and it created him to create, he wants to dress like a chick because of that, because he's so mad, right? Okay. I'm looking for this one quote that was really good, because this is a long, boring article all about him. I guess he used to be a singer and stuff. I wish I could find the quote. I can't, so I'm just going to have to say how I remember it. Maybe it's still on Facebook somewhere here. Basically, he said he was God. Okay, I'm going to just get to the crux of it and quit messing around here. Oh, where are you, RuPaul? I hate this. Okay. He said in the article, it's about recognizing that you are God, dressing up in humanity. I'm going to read that again. It's about recognizing that you are God, dressing up in humanity. Who was God made flesh? Who was actually God who came in Christ Jesus, yes. So this guy's, he's an antichrist. He's a pseudo-Christ.
Big time.
Yeah. So he's saying he's God dressing up in humanity. And he goes, and you could do whatever you want.
See what I mean?
Do what thou wilt is the whole of the law. Aleister Crowley, the Satanist Bible. And he says, that's what us little boys who are maligned, he's always maligned and we're ostracized, figured out. They're God. So the rest of the article's just typical drivel. Yeah, he actually says, "I am God," in the form of humanity. Mm-hmm. Amazing. Long article. You wouldn't see a long article on anything else like this, but boy, they really push this stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's not normal. It's not normal. But I'm afraid, just like my friend who actually lost a 9-year-old daughter. It ruined his marriage. He turned to drugs and alcohol. He was messed up for many minutes. In fact, he's still a recovering alcoholic. He does all the meetings and everything. Mm-hmm. And he's saying, his personal opinion, it's okay to kill kids. That's hard. It's hard to, how do you get to that point? But people are desensitized. Mm-hmm. They're desensitized by the media, CNN, Fox, whatever they're watching. They're desensitized. Yeah. And it's all drivel. I didn't tell you this, Ms. KAPOW. I forgot to tell you this, but this story. Yesterday, I met with another friend of mine that plays piano, mm-hmm. and because we're working on a show that's coming up here in April, a radio show thing that we're doing live, musically. And matter of fact, from her little music room, her little golf cart room, I could look up and see Stephen Paddock's house, right there, the biggest mass murderer in U.S. history. It's right there. And but anyway, when I walked up to the garage, Ms. KAPOW, yesterday, mm-hmm. She was on her phone and she was laughing and she was watching something on her phone because she was waiting for me. And she goes, "You ever heard of and I forget his name, Randy Rainbow or something like that?" Mm-hmm. I go, "No, never heard of Randy Rainbow." She goes, "Oh, he's this is a YouTube thing. He's so funny, and he does all these skits, and they're like little shorts." So she goes, "Look at," and so I watched this guy for like 4 seconds, and it's drivel. Who he's making fun of is Trump. He did a fast edit thing where he pretended he was interviewing Kellyanne Conway on something, mm-hmm. and of course it was all anti-Trump stuff. And then the guy, you tell the guy's a little faggot, and he's acting all faggoty and stuff. And I watched like 4 seconds of it, and when I looked at her and I says, "Is this all he talks about? Is like politics?" He goes, "Yeah, he's politics." And she thought, "Oh, but he's so funny." And I'm thinking, my God, mm-hmm. It's such drivel. This is what you find entertaining. You do this in your spare time. Yeah. You don't think beyond this. No wonder. Yeah, no wonder we're just food for these things. And this is a smart, intelligent woman, but totally asleep. Yeah. Totally asleep. And then she goes, "You ever heard of," and she named another name. "No." "Oh, this is funny." Then she told me this other thing. She goes, "So she didn't talk about politics, talks about other things." And then she proceeds to tell me, she goes, "I think in her real life, she's a Christian motivational speaker." Oh, for the love of pizza. Do you remember the name of that one? I don't. Ay, papa. I don't. Well, dude, it was like 4 seconds of drivel, and I'm just there to rehearse. And then I need to go home and eat a hot dog, Oh, my goodness. I do not remember that one. And she wasn't political. She was talking about a dating app or something, but it's just drivel. Okay. So that's about it. The other thing I want to say, we opened the story with the Vegas guy and going to be released, right? Brutally raped and murdered this woman. All right? Well, when I was looking at that story, and I was looking at it on my phone at first, they have advertisements before the story comes up. And before the story came up, an advertisement came up, and it was a video. And it was advertising Las Vegas Athletic Club. And it said it was National Woman Day. Did you know that, Ms. KAPOW?
Yep. I didn't know that, but I read something along that fact.
Okay, so I guess that was yesterday. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
And I have a woman living with me, and I didn't even know that. It was National Woman Day. So the Las Vegas Athletic Club had this great-looking woman in her 30s, all buffed out, beautiful thing, exercising, working hard. And then they say, you don't get to this point by not coming in and working type of thing, right? Mm. And then they go to celebrate National Women's Day. All women sign up free. Free of charge. The Las Vegas Athletic Club. Beautiful facility, all kinds of equipment, free. Now, I don't have to tell you, it's a whole nother show if I were to say, if we said men sign up free, what that would be, right? Mm-hmm. But what I want to point out on that is the hypocrisy of the satanic cult.
Yeah.
Hashtag me too. What's the other one? End times, time's up.
Time's up.
Yeah, I like to say end times. They should be saying end time. Time's up. All this stuff. Women, right? You know, Weinstein. And, you know, I had a dream one time where I was sexually assaulted by a turtle. You know, blah, 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 right? They have this advertising. And then the Nevada state legislator is going to release a rapist. Mm-hmm. Huh? The commercial came on right before this story. Doesn't make sense. Okay, we're giving free memberships to women because we respect women. Women are getting abused. Oh, just say no. Because one of the, you know, who's that? Steve Wynn, one of the big casino owners. Mm-hmm. He's in trouble. He had to step down from his own casino, his own company, because back in 1958, he winked at a gal or something. He's in big trouble. And then the state passes a law. Hey, if you're a kid and you commit a violent crime, even if it's rape and murder, you're out. And they're going to release this guy. What I'm saying is you see the incongruity here. Nothing's for real. Everything's a big fat lie. And so you can't get wrapped up in the drivel.
Yeah.
It's all you can't really take a cause because there is no cause. It's all drivel. It's all lies. The whole thing is a big, stupid, fat lie. And it's been from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. I'm just starting to realize that being a lie is nothing recent.
No.
Yeah. Right? Miss KAPOW and I like to sometimes look at old movies. Well, she likes old movies. I just look at little clips of them or whatever. Or sometimes I'm forced to because I have to learn an old song or something.
Oh, I was going to say, because I don't force you to watch.
Yeah, no. I have to learn a song or something, with a choir. And I have to look at something. I have to watch, the other day I had to watch Judy Garland or something like that. About killed me. But the thing is, it's nothing's different. Mm-mm. It's always been the same lie. You just didn't know it before.
That's right.
Since the advent of television, it was the greatest thing to come right into your home and literally program you, literally change you. I cannot tell you how evil programming is.
Yep.
Absolutely evil. And if it does nothing else, it just makes you stupid and dumbed down where you can't think. Like my intelligent woman friend yesterday was sitting there laughing at drivel.
Yeah.
And then you don't see what's going on around you. Mm-mm. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, hopefully I've, offended, upset, made somebody think, did something today. Right, Ms. KAPOW?
I'm sure you have.
Hopefully. All right. Say goodnight.
Ciao, babies.